Hi, my name is Julie, and today, I'm going to share my morning routine with you. But before I do, let me tell you a story. A few years ago, my mornings were a complete disaster. Every morning felt like a race I was losing. My alarm would ring, and I'd hit snooze, again and again. By the time I finally got out of bed, I was already running late. I would rush to get dressed, skip breakfast, and leave the house in a hurry, feeling tired before my day had even started. One morning, things went even worse than usual. I had an important meeting at work, and I overslept. When I finally woke up, I had only 20 minutes to get ready and leave. My hair was messy, my clothes were wrinkled, and I couldn't find my car keys. By the time I got out the door, I was already in a bad mood. I ran to my car, hoping to make it in time, but just as I turned the key in the ignition, nothing happened. My car wouldn't start. I sat there, staring at the steering wheel, feeling frustrated and exhausted. I knew why this was happening. It wasn't just bad luck. It was my lack of preparation, my unhealthy habits, and my chaotic mornings. Something needed to change. That day, I promised myself that I would never start my mornings like this again. I decided to build a new routine, one that would help me feel calm, organized, and in control every morning. But of course, change wasn't easy. I had to break old habits and build new ones. And so, my journey to a better morning routine began. But before I tell you how I changed everything, let me ask you, have you ever had a morning like mine? Have you ever woken up feeling rushed, stressed, or unprepared? If you have, don't worry. I've been there, and I'm going to show you exactly how I turn things around. The secret to a productive morning doesn't start in the morning, it starts the night before. But I didn't know that yet. All I knew was that I needed a fresh start. And the next morning, I took my first step toward a better life. The morning after my disaster, I knew something had to change. I wanted to wake up feeling calm and in control, not rushed and exhausted. But I didn't know where to start. I had read about morning routines before, but they all seemed complicated. Wake up at 5 a.m., exercise for an hour, meditate, journal, drink a green smoothie, read 5 books. It felt impossible. I needed something simple. So, I decided to start with just one small change. I would prepare for my morning the night before. That night, before going to bed, I did something I had never done before. I planned ahead. I chose the clothes I would wear the next day and placed them on a chair. I packed my bag so I wouldn't have to rush around in the morning looking for things. I even put my car keys in the same spot, so I wouldn't waste time searching for them. Then, I set my alarm 30 minutes earlier than usual. Not 2 hours earlier, just 30 minutes. I knew that if I tried to wake up super early right away, I would fail. I needed to make a small, easy change, something I could actually stick to. Before going to sleep, I also did something new. I put my phone on the other side of the room. This way, when my alarm rang, I had to get out of bed to turn it off. No more endless snoozing. That night, I fell asleep feeling hopeful. I told myself, this time, I will do things differently. The next morning, when my alarm rang, my first instinct was to hit snooze, but I couldn't. My phone was across the room, forcing me to get up. I groggily walked over, turned off the alarm, and resisted the temptation to crawl back into bed. Instead, I took a deep breath and stretched my arms. Then, something surprising happened. Because I had prepared the night before, my morning felt easier. My clothes were already ready. My bag was packed. My car keys were where they should be. I didn't feel the usual panic and rush. For the first time in a long time, I had a few quiet moments to myself before starting my day. It wasn't perfect, of course. I still felt sleepy, and I still had the habit of reaching for my phone out of habit. But that first small change, preparing the night before and getting up right away, was the beginning of something new. Waking up without hitting snooze and preparing the night before had already made my mornings better. But something was still missing. I was awake, but I didn't feel fully energized. My mind was foggy, my body felt slow, and I still found myself moving through the morning without much focus. I realized that if I wanted to have a truly productive morning, I needed more than just waking up on time. I needed a way to wake up my mind and body. The first thing I changed was how I started my morning mentally. Before, I used to wake up and immediately check my phone. I would scroll through messages, emails, and social media before even getting out of bed. This filled my mind with distractions before I had even started my day. So, I made a new rule: no phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up. Instead of reaching for my phone, I sat in bed for a moment and took a deep breath. I asked myself, what is one thing I am grateful for today? It didn't have to be something big. Sometimes, I was just grateful for my warm blanket or a sunny morning. This small moment of gratitude helped me start my day with a positive mindset. Then, I needed to wake up my body. I used to roll out of bed and drag myself through the morning, feeling stiff and slow. I knew I needed to move, but I didn't want an intense workout. So, I started with something simple: stretching for 5 minutes. I reached for the ceiling, rolled my shoulders, touched my toes, and did a few deep breaths. It wasn't much, but it made me feel more awake. Some days, if I had more time, I would take a short walk outside. Just 5 or 10 minutes of fresh air and natural light made a huge difference. If the weather was bad, I put on music and danced for a few minutes instead. It was silly, but it made me laugh and feel happy first thing in the morning. The last big change was eating breakfast. Before, I either skipped breakfast or grabbed something unhealthy. No wonder I felt tired. Now, I make sure to eat something nutritious every morning. A simple smoothie, oatmeal with fruit, or eggs and toast gave me real energy for the day. At this point, my mornings had completely transformed. I was waking up on time, feeling positive, moving my body, and eating well. But I still had one more challenge: how to stay productive and focused for the rest of the day. By this point, my mornings had completely changed. I was waking up on time, avoiding distractions, moving my body, and eating a healthy breakfast. But I had one more problem: how do I stay productive for the rest of the day? Before, even if my morning started well, I often lost focus later. I would get distracted, waste time, or feel overwhelmed by everything I had to do. I needed a simple way to stay on track and get things done. That's when I discovered the power of morning planning. After breakfast, I now take 5 minutes to sit down with my notebook and plan my day. I write down the 3 most important things I want to accomplish. Not 10 things. Not 20. Just 3. This keeps me from feeling overwhelmed and helps me focus on what really matters. Then, I take a moment to set my mindset for the day. Instead of rushing into work feeling stressed, I pause and tell myself, I am focused. I am productive. I am ready for today. It may sound simple, but starting the day with the right mindset helps me stay motivated and confident. Another trick that keeps me productive is using time blocks. Instead of working non-stop and getting tired, I divide my tasks into small focused sessions. For example, I work for 50 minutes, then take a 10-minute break. This keeps my mind fresh and helps me avoid burnout. By following this routine, I now feel in control of my mornings and my entire day. I no longer rush. I no longer feel exhausted before my day even begins. Instead, I wake up feeling calm, focused, and energized, ready to do my best. The best part? You can do it too. If you want to fix your mornings and feel more productive, start with one small change. Maybe you can wake up 10 minutes earlier, or prepare your clothes the night before. Maybe you can drink a glass of water first thing in the morning or spend a few minutes stretching. Small habits create big results. If you found this story helpful, I have something special for you. I've created a simple morning routine guide that you can download for free. It includes easy steps, a printable checklist, and a habit tracker to help you stay on track. Click the link in the description to get your copy and start building your own perfect morning routine today.